ladies and gentlemen, what I would like to do is just to announce our two new signings, and of course a player that we have re-signed, Jacob, and of course Stephen, and of course Grant, who everybody knows. So we're delighted on this day to be announcing three players, and we'll leave questions to you.
Chris, it's Robert Sky, nice to see you.
Yes.
You've dropped a couple of surprises here.
Yes, good surprises. Yes.
I mean, obviously it's a surprise to us, but you've been working on all three of these for a few days now.
Yes, we have, and if I can speak about them individually, with Jacob. Jacob's a player that's my last job. We were at the end of a result and performance, and I knew certainly about the qualities of Jacob well before that, but if I needed reminding, it was a very good performance at St Andrews last season, where Jacob scored, but I was aware of his qualities before that, and of course once the opportunity came around to first think about the prospect of bringing him in, and then of course being able to do that, then it was an opportunity that certainly we couldn't turn down.
And Stephen?
And Stephen's a player that I've known for a longer period of time. He's a player of vast experience, can play in a few positions. He's a player that's used to playing at the top level, certainly used to playing in big stadiums, and of course the quality games that he would have played in at international level, and of course at Rangers. So he's a player that's certainly used to playing in the big field atmosphere. But it was more, firstly, the quality of the player, but also his experience and his adaptability. A player that can play in a few positions. And again, once that opportunity came around, it was too good an opportunity to turn down.
There'll be a lot of Norwich City supporters out there. I'm very pleased to see that man on your left still sitting on your left, especially after he handed the transfer request in under the previous management. What did you have to say to him?
Well, firstly, I have to thank our board and of course Grant in particular. And I didn't actually have too much to say to him. I wanted to speak about football, and I wanted to speak about what we have at this football club. But at the first conversation I had with him, I didn't really have to do too much, because the feel that I had initially, right from that moment, was that he wanted to be here. And I can understand, we've been through that position before as a player, and he is at a stage where he wants to secure his future. He's got a young family, he's very happy in the area, and the feeling that I had from him was that this is where he wanted to be. But of course there are important things for him. So I don't feel that I had to work that hard, and certainly I didn't have to persuade him. So I'd like to certainly thank the board that we have that's gone about the business in the correct way, and I'm delighted to see it.
Was that your biggest priority when you arrived at the football club?
Yes, because I think it was the first priority, and it was the outstanding priority, and I think because of Grant's record with this football club, and I think because of his quality, it was of course going to be big news. As a player that's scored the goals that he has over the last 3 seasons, and one player of the season the last 3 years. So I knew what he meant to this football club. So it's quite obvious that it was going to be big news, and of course that was one that rumbled on for a while. But as I said, having spoken to Grant, his intentions and his preference were to be here, and certainly the club have gone about their business in the right way.
Grant, talk us through it. You hand in a transfer request, new manager comes in, and suddenly you sign a new 3-year contract.
Yeah, well, obviously it's been a long saga now. Like Chris said, I never wanted to leave the football club. Things happen, and I think there's a lot of speculation, a lot of things being taken out of context, and people always speak and rumours, and that's what them yourselves do. Obviously, my ambition was to get the 3 years. I've done that now, I've agreed the deal, and I'm happy. My intention was never to leave. I've got a family, obviously everyone knows I've got 3 girls and a wife who was settled in the area, and I wanted to secure that. At the time we couldn't do that, and things maybe got said on all sides that were probably sparked the thing. But as a man, you sit down, you sort it, and we've done that. And the intention was always to stay, and I'm absolutely delighted to be signed, and I'm here, and my intention was to see my career out here, and hopefully that'll be the case. I
was just going to ask you about that. I mean, a 3-year contract, no disrespect, at your stage in your career, you looks like you will end your career here. Certainly at the very top level.
I was trying to say I'm old.
You'd be 34, I reckon.
That was always, the main intention was to get that, and I think it was well documented from the start that I wanted 3 years as a club and as a board. They gave me that, and it's took maybe a little bit longer than all sides had want to achieve it, but we got there in the end. As I say, my intention was to be here and see my career out, and I want to just look forward to working with the new manager and the new lads that come in and keeping this club where it should be.
After what you'd achieved in getting this club into the division, and then 15 goals last season, keeping them here as well, were you a little bit hurt that the contract offer wasn't what you'd hoped at first?
I think you're always hurt in football, and obviously you want the best, but it's football, and at times the club can only offer you what they think they can. And obviously I've done what I thought was right, and there's always mistakes going along the line on both sides, and obviously the intention was to get the deal done. We rambled on, as I said, a little bit longer, but we sat down as grown men and worked out whatever needed to be done and what's best for everyone. And I think that if you speak to any of this football club, for me to be here and myself for the next 3 years and hopefully achieve what I've done, it'll be great for all parties.
You mentioned that the family is settled here, you're very settled here. How did the fans' relationship with you have to play in your decision?
Yeah, well, obviously, I said at the start, I've never done what I've done. I've never done it with an intention of, obviously, everyone knows what this football club means to me for what I've done and what the fans have taken me. You see, like getting the 3 Player of the Years or what it is. So I didn't do it full-heartedly. I didn't do it without thinking. I hope that they realise why I've done it, and I'm here now and I've signed, and long may it continue and try and do it again and get another one this year.
Did the arrival of Chris play a big part in your decision as well? Did that really make you feel like there's no one I can leave now?
Obviously, it was never to do with the manager, and obviously, regardless of whoever was here, it was to do with an issue that was to do with myself and people above. And obviously, I spoke to Chris, and Chris gave me an indication that he wanted me to stay, which was obviously great, because he could have easily come in and said, well, if you want to wear leave. He spoke to me and told me that he wanted me here as part of his plans, and when you're here, it always helps, and I'm sure he's helped with the decision to speak to the board and give his views and thank him and stuff.
The fact that Russ had signed, the fact that Andy had signed, the fact that John Ruddy had signed, was that all good signs for you that teammates were also being looked after as well?
I don't just worry about myself, to be honest. Obviously, I'm delighted for them lads, what they've achieved for this football club, and they've been rewarded with that. They've been fantastic, and as I said, when you talk about rumours again, to see a few people saying last week was feeling that Sermon had signed his. Well, I've been sitting on the beach with him for a week, so it kind of makes me laugh a little bit. So that's the way it is, and I said there's a lot of things going on, and things have been said that have been written that aren't true, and that's what happens in football. And as I say, we've signed now, and we'll look forward.
Chris, from your point of view and the club's point of view, what does it mean to have Grant Holt for 3 years? How important is it?
Well, I think probably on the couple of counts. It's, before I came to the club, I knew, of course, because of Grant's record at this football club, it was going to be big news. I knew that. So yes, of course, that was a first priority, because he was a player that was already here. And I think when you've got a player already here, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you can secure their services for an additional period of time. So that was always going to be the case. But very, very quickly after that, it's also about making sure that we have a squad and a team that's good enough to continue to compete. And amongst that, you want as good a squad and the best players there. And Grant certainly falls very much into that category, as have Jacob and Stephen. And what I'm probably keen to do today is that I think we all know what an asset Grant is to us, and it's a good day for this football club, because I think that on both sides it's a job very, very well done. But I certainly don't want this afternoon just to be about one player, because we have two other additions that I feel that can be a real good and big asset to this football club. And certainly if Grant's going to be able to score the goals that we would like him to continue to score, there've got to be players that have got to assist him in doing that. Whether that's assisting him in goals or assisting us to win football matches. And you know, equally as I'm delighted to secure Grant's services, equally delighted with the two new signings in Stephen and Jacob. And I think it is an indication of some business that we are delighted to have done at this stage of the summer, and we hope that we can continue to make progress over this pre-season time, and as I say, have a team that's able really to compete in this division.
It's probably a question for Jacob, but fitness-wise, how are you?
Yeah, I've got the all clear recently from the surgeon to joining training sort of as normal. So I'm looking to do pre-season with the lads, and if not, I won't be far behind, a week or so behind. So almost there now.
Has it been a bit of a whirlwind for you, Jacob? When did you sort of get the inkling this was going to take place?
Well, there's been speculation around my future sort of pretty much all last season. And, you know, been well documented. There's been a lot of interest in me, and you know, there's been a lot of decisions to make. Obviously, once I found out about the interest from Norwich and meeting with the manager, then you know, it was a pretty easy decision to make. You know, I'm confident that I've made the right move.
Chris, as a young man, are you excited to get in with such a prospect?
Yes, I am. Yes, because what we have with Jacob is a young man with undoubted ability, but certainly a good age to continue to develop. And I've seen Jacob over a few years or so, again, a player that can play in a few positions. And you know, if I looked at his period last season, it was very much in a particular position. But it's I think a good time for him. You know, he's showed his quality over a period of time that he's been at France. It's a wonderful opportunity for him. I saw him in a team that played very attractive football, and I think anybody who knows Keith here at Barnsley, they'll know that the way they want to play, and I think certainly Jacob has benefited from the quality of that team last season, and we're delighted to be able to continue that progress for Jacob.
Genuinely two-footed player?
I hope so. I hope so. That's what we're voting for. Yes, but he's a player of quality that could score goals, but also has a wonderful ability to link play as well. And so having seen him, particularly last season at Barnsley, in the way that they played, and the fact that he likes to get on the ball, and he doesn't have a fear factor of getting on the ball, I think that's an asset, I think, very much to the progress that he's made.
He scored against you last year as well, didn't he?
He did. It was an absolute cracker, actually. So, and as I said, if I didn't already know about Jacob, then certainly I knew on that occasion.
Do you actually score tap-ins?
Not usually, no. I like to have a shot from range. I just like to express myself, you know, with the ball. And I think this is, you know, an exciting time in my career, and you know, I made no mistakes. I wanted to join a Premier League club, and you know, by the time the summer came around, I did have a lot of options. But I mean, like I said, once I spoke with the gaffer, you know, I think I made the right decision joining Norwich.
Chris or Stephen, are there any ongoing concerns with the legal position of Rangers over the deal? The comments
No, I think I'll probably speak on behalf of Stephen. That's very much an issue. We're here really to talk about football, and certainly the reason why we brought Stephen in, and the qualities that he has, and you know, they're matters that are dealt with very much from club to club, and as always as a club here at Norwich, and before my time, we've always done things the right way, we're just grateful to be able to acquire his services.
Stephen, dare I ask how hard the last few months have been, but at the same token, how happy you must be to now have this kind of situation sorted for you?
Yeah, definitely. It's obviously been hard up at Rangers over the last 6 months. Club administration wasn't easy, but the players, you know, we got together and we continued to give our best on the park, and I think that showed towards the end of the season. But all of that is past now. Looking forward to the new challenge that's coming our way. Looking forward to putting against the best players in the world in this league. Yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
Would you expect this to be it before pre-season, if there are further people coming in during the summer, but would you be expecting something else in the next week?
Yes, possibly. It's my responsibility to assess what we have, but I more or less know that my responsibility also is to make sure that we've got a good enough team and a good enough squad to be able to compete in this division. It's a tough division. It's unforgiving in the games that you play and the type of opposition the players that you're up against, and one that if you're not on your game for periods of time, then you can soon be on the end of a series of poor results. So my responsibility is to make sure that we can compete. I'm still assessing what we already have, but certainly I will have no fear of bringing in players to make sure that we have the quality to continue to compete, and the quality to have the type of squad and certainly to have that competition in the squad that I think we need to have.